Right, more on that multi-party charter for South Africa. In the next hour, we'll be in conversation with the chairperson of Action SA. But let's turn to this now. The National Joint Operational Intelligence Structure says it's all systems go for next week's Brics Leaders Summit. Numerous heads of state are expected to attend the event. Joining us now to shed more details, or at least the ones that she can share, is the co-chair of the National Joint Committee, Lt-Gen Tebello Mosikili. Lieutenant General, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this evening. Should we then assume, that the north of Johannesburg, particularly the Central area where the summit is going to be held, and the Midrand area around Gallagher Estate, would by and large be a no-go area to be on lockdown, so to speak?
Good evening, Thabo. Good evening to your viewers. Not necessarily to have a no-go area in Thabo. Earlier on, when we had the briefing, we did outline some of the routes that will be closed to ensure the safety and security of our visitors and to successfully deliver a safe and secure event in terms of what is required of the country in terms of the SASRIA Act. You'll recall that we have this SASRIA Act that was adopted and promulgated in 2010. So there will be some routes that will be closed, of course, in particular in the area of, but we'll keep on updating the communities. We are on the ground as we speak. We are starting full swing. In the area of Gallagher Estate, in the event that will be happening on the 23rd of August, we will have the closure of Gallagher Avenue and Richards Drive, and Lupton Street, Jonick and Lupton Street, Richards Drive, a traffic cycle, Jonick and Pretoria Main Road. So those are the routes that will be closed on the 23rd during that operation of the event that will be happening at Gallagher Estate in particular. Yeah. But we will keep on updating the communities that are living in and around this area of if there will be any other routes that will be closed.
So, General, I would assume that it's over and above what you normally do as far as policing. There will be that what you'd normally do in terms of traffic control and over and above. But as far as the SASRIA Act is concerned and an event of this magnitude with an international delegation, what is your priority and what is it that you want? Because in your statement you say South Africans across all spectrum who are within the borders of the country should cooperate with law enforcement agents. What is priority for the law enforcement agents, at least in the next couple of days?
Thank you, Thabo, for that question. We want to deliver a safe and secure event. You will recall that we had similar events in the country. We always communicate. NatJoints will always come to its communities with its list of priorities. As of now, Thabo, as it was outlined in this morning, is that we want to ensure that our own South Africans are safe, the visitors are safe, and the event is safe. So for JCPS, or Safety and Security Cluster, and of course through its NatJoints, we want to ensure that people do carry on with their lives. There will be some, discomforting disturbance, but we are not intending to make them not to feel free in their own country. However, because of the responsibility that is vested on the security cluster, our priority is to ensure that everybody at that time that is in the country is safe and is feeling safe. Hence, we are making this appeal to all South Africans and our visitors in particular, that we do have laws of this country that we are expecting them to be respected, including our own South African. We appeal to them to respect the laws of the country and to cooperate with the security cluster to deliver this event successfully. We welcome our international guests. We want our communities, our South Africans, our fellow South Africans to do the same, in humanity, in warmth, and with care. We are the country in Africa that has practiced Ubuntu. We do emphasize on the spirit of Ubuntu to ensure that our international guests arrive in our country and live the country with living it in high esteem.
Now, how are you going to ensure, I suppose you won't give us all the details, but at least suffice to know that you will also continuing to prioritize all the other crime prevention activities, that they will not be compromised because resources are going to be, of course, largely focused around this event?
The city security plan, the NatJoints plan, will look into every possible plan that we are having. And I must say, not only in Gauteng, not only around the venue of the event, but all across Gauteng, we are going to ensure that we still continue with our policing and to safeguard the livelihoods of our people in the country. This event comes at a time that we recently revisited our policing strategy. We have launched in Gauteng in few weeks back what we name Operation Chanel. You will recall that Gauteng has ever had what they call Ukai Mulao. We have taken Ukai Mulao across the country and we have implemented the strategies as a cluster, not only the police. So heightening the event itself will not leave other areas of our country vulnerable. We are all aware of our responsibility and the livelihoods of our people. Those that will be attending the event will be secured and saved at the event itself, but those that will not partake in the event, we can assure them that we'll continue with the business. We will continue to heighten our operations as we have communicated to our communities, our country, and we will continue to do so. It's not everybody that we are going to deploy for this event. Our daily operations and policing will still continue across our policing areas with other role players and stakeholders, of course.
General, you're emphasizing once again that this is a cluster approach. Shall I take that to say it's not just the South African Police Service, in other words, the men and women in blue that we're going to be seeing on our roads? Is there likely going to be a complement from the military also assisting you?
You will recall, Thabo, that military will only be deployed in extreme necessity, and we are not anticipating that this time around there are measures that will warrant us to deploy the military. Military, when they support policing, they do that as a secondary responsibility, and we communicate if that has to happen. We have your JMPD, we have MPD that is on board. In this plan, we have other law enforcement agencies, so BMA, that is also taking care of other areas that we need to look at. So the cluster is brought and every resource will then be called into this plan. We have already started. I must say, we did not start it yesterday to plan for Brics. We did not start it last month to plan for Brics. It has been a plan. Recently, we have delivered incident-free Netball World Cup in Cape Town. There were precursor summits that we held across the country, in Mpumalanga, in Western Cape, in KwaZulu-Natal, here in Gauteng. All those events were planned accordingly, and we had all our forces together to make sure that we deliver those CASA event successfully.
Right, General, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. Lt-Gen General Tebello Mosikili there. She also heads the NatJoints committee that is putting together a security plan, not only putting it together, but ensuring that it is implemented as according to plan.